Stewart DICKSON, welcome to our Mediabox.
Thank you.
You have just presented to the Chamber of Region a report on the election of the Cantonal Assemblies of the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So how would you assess the holding of local elections in the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, please?
Well, we had a full mission to Bosnia and Herzegovina to observe the cantonal elections. They were held on the same day as the general parliamentary election, which, when you read our report, you will see we found that citizens found all of that very confusing. The cantonal elections are part of the regional assemblies of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the conclusion of our report is that future cantonal elections should be held on the same day as municipal elections rather than parliamentary elections. It also led to a considerable number of ballot papers which were complex and confusing, 4 different ballot boxes in some polling stations, and it led to long queues of people actually standing at the polling booth, sometimes for up to 20 minutes, filling out their ballot paper. And you can also imagine that then when it came to the counting process, that made it incredibly long as well.
So what are the main recommendations proposed by the Congress?
Okay, the main recommendations, they're really 2 things, because in addition to the cantonal elections, we have an ongoing issue with the city of Mostar, where sadly there have been no local elections for over 10 years. And we've been working with local actors, people in civil society, as well as political parties there. And we are trying to come together with a proposal for perhaps a citizens' assembly, which might point the way forward for that community. It's a model that works in other places where there have been either conflicts or indeed where simply there isn't local agreement. And political parties sometimes can be very stubborn when it comes to trying to persuade them to do things. But quite often we find that if citizens, ordinary citizens, express their opinions, then the political parties will follow very quickly behind. In addition to that then, just going back to the main recommendation of our report, and that is that with the exception of a number of minor issues with regards to the electoral process and the way in which the Electoral Commission conducted its business, the main concern that we had was the fact that those elections were held on the same day as a general election, which we think rather mixes things up for people.
Thank you, Mr. DICKSON.
You're welcome.